All right, everyone, welcome into the Media Center at the inaugural Gainbridge LPGA at Boca, Rio. It is my pleasure to have the inaugural champion, Madelene Sagstrom. Madelene, a Rolex first-time winner. What emotions are going through your mind right now?
Well, I'm still mind blown, I think. It's just one of those things that you don't really realize it happens. And then I think I need some time, and then it might settle a little bit.
Talk us through today's round. You stumbled a little bit on the front nine. Were you nervous? It was your first time sleeping on a 54-hole lead.
Well, I've never been in a situation like this before. So obviously it was all new to me. I didn't know how I was going to handle it or if it was going to go my way or not. So my whole goal today was just go out and stay patient and do what I'd done the other days. Because I was, first of all, really proud. I saw myself, I had already won in my head today. Not winning the tournament, but I had beaten my own demons and just making myself proud already. It's shooting 62 and then following it up by a round of 67 was just huge for me in general. And just being up the leaderboard and putting myself in that situation was just a huge win for me. And then, this is just icing on the cake right here.
Then you had a chip in on 10 for birdie. That kind of righted the round for you today. How did that change the dynamic of your day?
Well, I kind of got the rhythm back on the back nine. I hit actually a pretty good shot into 10, but it ended up in the bunker. And I was like, okay, well, just trying to do a good shot from here. I consider myself a pretty good bunker player. And then when I saw the win in, I was like, yes, that was awesome. So I felt a little bit momentum shift. I got a little confidence back. So that really helped for sure.
You tied it up on 17th with the birdie. What was your mindset heading to the 18th tee? Did you know where you were? You're facing a really good opponent in Nasa Hatoka with multiple-time winner. What was your mindset heading to the 18?
Fairway, 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 fairway. No, it's like, I knew that I saw the tee box and I was like, oh, the bunker's in play, the water's in play. And I was like, okay, just let loose, just let go. And hopefully I hit the fairway. I just did. But it was kind of one of those, this is like what I've practiced for. I was like, I have to just let all my feelings aside and all my thoughts aside and just go ahead and try to do it.
Did you know the par putt was potentially for the win? Did you know that was must make?
I knew it was a must make for a playoff. I'm assuming, I didn't really know. I knew that Nasa and I was on the same score, obviously, because we played together. But I told Alan on 11, I told him, I was like, I'm not looking at the scoreboard on this 9. It's me against the course, and I'm going to do my best. Obviously, I knew what she was doing because we were playing together. But I figured that it was going to be pretty good. So I knew I had to make that to give myself a chance at all, yeah.
And then your reaction, spraying champagne, your boyfriend, your family coming up. What were those emotions like?
Well, I think I didn't realize what happened first because I didn't know any other scores. So I didn't really know. I was like, well, is this it or what happened? It was just so many emotions going through my mind and going through everything. And this is what we all dream about. This is what I've dreamed about my entire career and ever since I started playing golf. So it really hit me hard.
You mentioned your caddy, Alan. Can you, for those who might not have heard the story, can you give a little background as to who you had on the bag this week?
So it's my boyfriend's dad, Alan Clark. He thought he was going to go on vacation to Florida for 2 weeks, but I ended up calling him a few weeks ago and be like, hey, so my normal caddy is not coming. Can you caddy for me? And he's like, sure, maybe. I don't know. But he really stepped up and he's done an amazing job this week. And I'm so proud of him because he's really fought really hard because he was really tired the first couple of days. But yeah, he's done such a tremendous job.
Does he have a permanent job out here?
No, he does not. He's retired, and now he's retiring from caddying on the LPGA too.
Going out on top, nice. For those that don't know your story, Madelene, winning maybe came a little bit easy and quick to you on Symetra Tour. What have the last few years really been like for you, and what are some of those ups and downs that you've experienced?
Well, actually, when I started out on Symetra, in the beginning of that season of 16, I really questioned myself if I was good enough. I really struggled coming out of college because I didn't know my spot. I didn't know really where I was going to fit in. But I figured it out pretty quick, and I really stuck to my game plan. I kind of did what I've that whole season I did what I've done this week, and obviously that resulted in a great season and a really good finish. But I mean, we play on the biggest stage in golf. I mean, the best players in the world are out here, and I mean, everybody's so good. And if you do a few mistakes, you miss some cuts, and that's been. I mean, I've been doing very up and down these last 3 years I've been out here. My first year was pretty good. I mean, I didn't play Solheim Cup. But no, these last couple of years, it's just so up and down. So, I mean, I've really had to deal with my own emotions, my little demons in my head, my thoughts, and just figure out, like, who am I, what kind of player do I want to be, and how can I just get out the most potential that I have.
You mentioned Solheim Cup. You were a captain's pick at the event in 2017. You were not at the event last year in 2019. You sent out a tweet kind of what missing the Solheim Cup meant to you last year and how that you were going to use that as motivation. How did you do that, and how did missing that event maybe lead you to where you're sitting right now in the winner's circle?
Well, I know that in the beginning of 17, when we were playing for, obviously I ended up playing for a spot, but no, I can only play for a spot. I wasn't eligible to play my way in. But in the beginning of that season, I put way too much pressure on myself. I really wanted to play in that team so badly. So I really, I struggled with the results in the beginning, did last in my first LPGA event in Bahamas in 17. But then from there, I knew, okay, I kind of just have to let go of that. And I think I put a little too much pressure on myself last year. I wanted it really badly, and I wanted to be part of that team really badly. And I think I was just in the way of myself a little bit too much. And so, I mean, I had a pretty long off season, so I have had a lot of time to work and prepare myself mentally and everything for this.
Well, how nice is it to see it pay off immediately at the first event of the season?
Well, I think I posted something on Instagram beginning of the week, and I was like, I'm determined that 2020 is going to be the best season yet. And I didn't really know it was going to be this good right away, but no, I've worked really hard over many years now, and I think that the biggest change or the biggest journey I've had is within myself and my mental game, and finishing second last year at Pure Silk. Really, I could really see, okay, I'm good enough to play out here on being up in the top and potentially win. And then now then I've really worked on like freeing that potential and just getting it out there, and obviously I did this week.
All right, we will open it up for questions. Please raise your hand, and we will bring around a microphone. We can start with Beth Ann there. She's closest.
I have two questions. You said you beat your demons before you even teed off today. What was your biggest mental demon prior to this week?
Well, I struggle to be in the present a little bit. I like to be in the future, and I worry a lot about the future. So I think that was my biggest thing. What's going to happen this year? How am I going to play? Have I done the work? Am I good enough? That was kind of the biggest chunk of things that I brought into with me this week. And it's like, okay. And obviously I got proven a lot of those wrong to myself this week, which I'm really proud of her. But that's the part I've been working on the most.
So you practice out of Tranquilo? Is that so? I didn't see you, but I guess you were there watching last week a little bit, and now obviously you'll be in that field. Were you watching the tournament rounds last week? Or
yeah, I was out there the Friday. I know a lot of the members really well now, and I chit-chat a little bit. And I'm really good friends with some of the girls on tour, too. So I was out watching, feeling the environment. But I also knew last year I was out for a few more days just because we weren't playing. But then I knew I had an event coming up. So just the Friday. I had enough questions saying, why aren't you playing? I was like, well, I haven't won yet. So I was kind of, okay, I'm done with that.
So it'll be a little different next year.
It'll be different now coming back home.
And a big home course advantage, right?
I mean, I would think so. No, I mean, I will have just being able to represent my home course at my home club would be amazing. I haven't really thought about that yet, but yeah.
And just refresh our memory, when did you first pick up a club, and who introduced you to the game?
My family introduced me to the game. The original story is that I've held the club in my entire life, but I kind of picked up the game when I was 9 when we moved into the city right off the golf course. But I had been around it before, just kind of mostly just walking around. I grew up playing golf on a farm. My dad's best friend had a farm, so they were playing a lot of golf out there. So I was mostly looking at the cows and digging in the dirt and stuff.
All right, we'll go down here to the front row.
Okay, this is multiple parts, but just the 18th hole. If you could talk about your approach shot, the lie that you had, your pitch onto the green, and the way you struck that final putt.
Well, I was really happy that I hit the fairway in the first place. I was the wind has been tricky these last 2 days, I feel like, because it feels like it's blowing, but then it doesn't blow. So now afterwards, I might have picked a different club, but I was feeling it was a little bit into, so I picked one of my longer clubs. It's a utility club, but I didn't catch it that great. So, but I was pretty fortunate that it stopped in between that little grass bit on the left side there. The lie was fine. I hit the chip shot okay, not great, but then I hit a really good putt. So it was kind of one of those things. If it was meant to go in, it was meant to go in.
Yeah, well, it was a perfect read, broke right in the left side. And then if you can talk about the shot on 17.
Well, I think that we were talking about obviously I was aiming left of the pin, obviously. I knew the wind was going to come a little bit off the left. I didn't actually mean to hit it that close to the pin. It was a little bit of a mishit. That's the funny part, because a lot of times when we hit it really close to the pin, it's normally a little bit of a miss, because we don't actually really hit towards the pins that often. But it was a perfect miss. So no, I knew if I caught it good, if I hit the shot I was trying to hit, it was going to be about 3 yards left of the pin, and obviously now it just ended up straight at the pin instead. In 8-iron.
You talk a lot about the mental side of your game, and you're a very introspective player. How important is that side, and kind of strengthening that part of your game? How instrumental was that to the win here?
Well, I think it's everything. Well, first of all, for me, it's if I don't enjoy what I'm doing, if I don't feel good about myself, this whole part of the life just gets really hard. So for me, it's been a journey of how do I not identify with golf too much? So I'm just the golfer Madelene. How can I be both an individual, a human being on the side, and also be a good golfer? So that was kind of how I got in touch with it from the start, because I was so identified with golf growing up. If I played bad, I was a bad person. But now it's that last 1%, as they say. And I think, I do the work, I practice, I do all the things, but for me to really if I put 2 more hours in on the putting green, I don't feel like that's going to get that little bit extra out of it. But if I work a little bit on how can I be more free, how can I not react to my thoughts, how can I just do the little extra. So for me, it comes back to just being more free in my mind and just really enjoy what I'm doing.
Yep, down here.
Okay, I'll keep going. So Friday, Saturday, you had 16 birdies, and I don't know if there was really any pressure on you, but there had to be a ton of pressure on you today. On the back nine, you just kept making every must-make putt that you had to make. Was it the same in your head? Because you had joked about it on Friday, saying, how many more of these putts am I going to make? Were you just like, yeah, I can do this, or did you feel the pressure?
Yeah, I definitely felt the pressure. I felt shaky from the start today. It's like, oh, okay, let's do it. But my entire mindset was, okay, as soon as I got my line down, as soon as I got my read, I was like, just good speed, good speed, good speed. That was kind of what I was pumping myself with, and just confidence in the fact of not trying to get defensive and just moving on and just trying to stay positive and keep going. Because, some days you have it and some days you don't, and some days the putts drop and some days they don't. And obviously this was my week. I really think that is the case out here sometimes. Some weeks it's just yours, and ended up being mine.
Beth Ann?
What was your biggest takeaway from spending all that time with Annika Sorenstam a couple years ago? Anything she said in the team room that's kind of stuck with you that would help in a situation like today?
Her sense of detail was incredible. She had figured out everything to the minimum, like everything. And she was just she's so trusting in the rest of us. And even though the last day we had quite an impossible task in front of us, but she was like, you do go out and take care of your thing. Just the fact, like what she's done her entire career. It's so just that it comes down to like the smallest things. And if you keep doing consistently, you can end up with great results and great, and obviously a great career, and just be a good person on the side too.
Any further questions? I just have one more from me. How are you going to celebrate?
I'm going to drive home and I'm going to sleep in my own bed tonight. Honestly, I don't have
Sounds
any
great.
plans.
Congratulations, Madelene. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Go Tigers!